Okay, well, feeding time this morning. Forgot to start the video earlier, so we've been at it about 10 minutes now. She ate a whole dropper. Now I'm putting a little more in there. Didn't know I'd need more. Didn't realize how quick they were eating. We're a little calmer because we started eating about 8 or 9 whatever these little measurements are on this dropper. It's a little water, but it'll do for now. I'm coming, sweetness, I'm coming. Okay, let's do this. Show everybody how well you eat. Turn around. Oh, I don't have wet hands. Hold on. Okay. There we go. You're such a good little eater. Come on, let's teach everybody how we feed you so we help other little birdies like you. Yeah, your pouch is full. You're soaking wet. Let's clean you up a little bit. Just dry you off. Clean you up and dry you off because you're a dirty little bird. You're not done yet? Not done yet? Turn it around. Let's do more. So when he was little, when I first got him a couple days old, I would pretty much keep my hand closed to kind of keep him a little less from flying all over the place, wobbling back and falling backwards because he was a little crazy. But now that he's a little bigger, I want to see him flapping those wings and getting that exercise, so I'm keeping my hand a little more open. This is, by the way, all me making this up as I go along. I have no idea if this is what's best for him or her, but I think it's probably a good idea that he flaps his wings and gets some exercise. So, and I imagine when their moms are feeding them or when they're in the bushes feeding, that the wings go crazy like that. So I want to make sure I try to be as natural as possible, as close to nature as possible. How are we doing? Oh, we're getting full now because we stopped getting crazy, huh? Okay, we've had more than we've had before. That's great. Let's clean you off, dirty girl. Who's a dirty bird? Some warm water from the pot that we boiled your water in. Not even really warm anymore, but better than cold. Oh, look how full look how messy you are. What's going on here? We made a mess today. That's what I get for letting you flap those wings all over. Whoa! And now it seems like today, and maybe a little bit yesterday, seems to want to sit more on my fingers, like on a perch, instead of like being kind of, whoa, I don't know if we have the balance yet. There we go, baby. I'm afraid to hold you like that. Let me hold you like that. There we go. Whoa, where do you think you are? You're not a big bird yet. Come here, sweetheart. There you go. I can't see your little face here. Let me see how dirty your face is. You better? Are we all better? So the food that we feed them. I bought this baby formula for birds at the feed store, but I did call a couple of bird stores and they have it as well. I don't know if it's, what brand or if there's specific brands, but that one's worked. And then I mix it up. We started out, he likes to cuddle, with about a tablespoon. I would mix a tablespoon with to 1 tablespoon of dry powder to about 3 tablespoons of water when I first got him, because I wasn't sure. And the instructions are how much he weighs and percentages, and I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know how much he weighed. I don't know percentages. I don't know what percentage whatever. So anyways, we started out a little more watery, but that really only lasted the first day or two. And then once I realized he was okay and he was eating all right, I went a little bit less water, 1 scoop of powder to 2.5 water, And then quickly the next day, 1 scoop of powder to 2 scoops of water. And we've been pretty much at 1 scoop of powder to 2 scoops of water and it's kind of thick, but it's hard, you know, it has to be a little more liquid to get through the dropper. So that's been working for us. But it looks like today we're gonna go to maybe 1.5 scoops of powder to 3 scoops of water. I don't know, we'll see how the consistency is, but it's been an adventure, but it's been such a pleasure. Look at that sweet little baby. And then so the water has to be hot. I boil it because it's to get rid of any impurities or whatever. Not a heavy boil, just enough little bubbles to like get it cleaned up a little bit. And the water has to be hot to mix with the powder, to activate it or cook it or whatever, however that works. So once I get it all together, it has to sit for a minute. So I let it sit for a minute while I'm getting him ready or whatever, and filling up the dropper and all the process of putting it in. I put in the dropper, I take out all the air because I'm not sure, like with human babies, if air is good for him, but I really don't want to be squirting air down his throat regardless. And everything is kept separate from like the rest of the house or any other animals. I use plastic cups and plastic spoons just so I can throw everything away when I'm done. And I bought these little eyedroppers also at the feed store. I think they were like $3 each, something like that. They weren't expensive. The formula was like $8. It wasn't terribly expensive, and it was a pretty good sized bag. It's lasted me, well, yesterday was a week that we've been together, so it lasted me at least a week, and I'm right here, like, and it was pretty full. I mean, it was full, you know, it wasn't like a chip bag. And what else do we need to know? What else have we learned taking care of this baby? I guess the biggest lesson I learned is that since it was a wild animal, I've been leaving it pretty much alone all the time, outside in its box, outside because it's too cold in the house. And I have kind of a safe area that I can put him where there's nothing going to get to it, and he's okay out there, or she. And about 3 days after I got him, I learned that they're kind of more social. They don't like to be alone, and that's when they're born, when their eggs are laid, there's usually 2 eggs at least. They come in pairs, so I realized that she really likes to cuddle. And she sees me now, and she just wants to sit on my hand, like, until about, like, nighttime. Back to the feeding, because it's important too, and I forgot to mention it. So what I learned when I was trying to find information on these type of birds and how to take care of babies, and now we're beautiful and full of feathers, but when I found it was probably a couple days old, if maybe a day old, because it was just the bones of its wings, and there was no feathers at all. It was completely naked. They eat 3 times a day within a 12-hour period. So I found her late at like at 5 o'clock at night, and she pretty quickly fell asleep. Like once she settled down in the car and I had her like this in my hand, she fell asleep pretty quickly. So what I realized is that she sleeps all night long, which is great for me. And but my schedule's a little crazy, and I wake up really early in the morning, so it's about 4:30 in the morning now. And so I've been waking up a little bit, well, I don't wake her up. Now she knows I come early, so she's awake. And they only eat 3 times a day during a 12-hour period, which is pretty easy for most schedules. I feed her in the morning before I go to work, and then I kind of rush home in the middle of the day to feed her and then go back. And then I'm home, like, I try to feed her. At the beginning it was by 5 o'clock because I knew she'd go to sleep around that time. But now, I think yesterday I got home late, so her schedule was a little messed up. But basically just 3 times a day. It doesn't have to be exact, or it hasn't been exact because it's just not been possible for me. But she's thriving. She's perfect. She's beautiful. Look at her. Oops. Again, I'm not a very good videographer. And every time I put the camera on her, she's silent and she doesn't move, like she knows. And she talks back, by the way. Don't turn away from the camera, Star. You're just beautiful. Show them how cute you are. Okay, off we go. Gotta go to work. Hope it helps somebody.